Stephen.
Mr. Donnelly, you said in your opening remarks that we will be looking at administrative spending in our partnership organisations. Will that include looking, for example, at what partnership organisations are spending on consultants and interims?
Yes, the Cabinet Office guidance applies across the partner organisations who are within the Francis Maud exercise from earlier this year. And one of the issues that I am very keen to ensure everyone is clear on is what information is required at the centre. That is one area. Another, for example, is senior salary levels. And so we are sure as we go into the next financial year that all the partner organisations are working within the same disciplines as we in BIS. And one thing I have asked them to do is to tell us if they think we can be doing anything more efficiently, because it's very important for an organisation like ours, which is smaller than the total of our partner organisations, that we don't have delusions of grandeur, if I can put it that way, in terms of this. It's a joint process. We are working within the same disciplines.
So that's very helpful, because last year I think the government spent £1.5 billion on consultants, 700 million of which was with arm's length bodies, and no central data was collated on that. What you're saying is for the 70-odd partnership organisations within BIS, you will now be gathering that data?
Essentially, yes. I hesitate only over one or two at the margins where there may be specific arrangements for expertise. For example, some of the research councils, a lot of what for us might be administrative spending would be defined as programme spending, because it's very closely related to delivery of a particular programme where slightly different rules apply. But the underlying logic, as I understand it, is precisely that.
Okay. Well, that's very helpful. I mean, I don't want to misquote him. I need to check exactly what he said. But at our hearing 2 weeks ago, Sir Gus gave evidence which suggested that arm's length bodies wouldn't be it wouldn't be practical to gather the data on consultants for arm's length bodies. So it's quite reassuring if that is, we are actually going to gather that now.
As I was with Sir Gus at that occasion, I think what he actually said was, in the past it has not been, but in the future it will be. And I think I explained that the...
I'm not sure he said that, but I hear that that's what you wanted him to say.
What he really meant was...
It's a helpful clarification.
I'm learning. But the key I also said was that we probably will only start to get really good data from April 11 onwards.
Okay.
So that this year's data is going to be a hybrid, which is why when we presented to you last time, we had very good data on the central government and approximate data on the arm's length bodies for this year. I think it will improve next year.
Could you then, Mr. Watmore, it's very helpful clarification, I'm very clear to hear it. Could you further clarify that interims will also be included within that central mandated data?
Yes.
It will, that's great. And as part of the transparency, therefore, will we be getting in real time a sense of what is spent on consultants in terms of any restructuring costs around the changes being brought in?
I think it's going to be difficult in the first instance to say, and this is, the consultancy was then spent on these 5 different sub-activities. Otherwise we end up, sort of publishing so many different cuts of the same information. So I think in the first level we will be saying if the department, which is BIS, spends £1 million on consulting, we will record that and and who the company was and.
But I thought the Cabinet Office was now, one of the changes was you were now gathering monthly data on consultants.
Yes,
and
we will be from the new year onwards, and in the current period, what we have is we took a 6-monthly stock take at the end of October, which is what I reported to the committee last time, and we have new contracts have to be centrally approved. First by the department, and if they're larger, then by the Cabinet Office.
So, because I guess what I'm trying to get an understanding of is, if we take the Home Office, I mean, the Home Office last year spent 73 million on consultants and further money on interims. And I know Sir David had a memorable exchange with Charles Walker in terms of some of the spending on consultants in terms of your own experience. How are we going to get, as part of the transparency agenda, visibility on exactly what that consultant, that £73 million in the Home Office, is going to be spent on moving forward?
Can I say? I think
I think that there will be quite a lot of detail, and I mean, there's a limit to how far that will be broken down, but I think that will enable you, if you haven't got what you need, to ask some further questions, frankly, and usually we will try to answer them. So, I mean, I don't think it'll be down. First of all, we're trying to cut the amount of consultancy anyway, but I don't think we'll be breaking it down into penny packets. But I think there will be enough transparency there for you to, first of all, see what the main spend is, and also to ask some further questions. I would expect you to be able to see actually how much we're spending, if anything, on consultants for restructuring.
We're going to